Boulder's top stories this week. Valmont Bike Park is selected to host a national event. USA ProCycling officials announced this summer's race will finish on Flagstaff Mountain. And Battalion Chief Gilbert Espinoza retires from the fire department after 37 years of service. Hi, I'm Natalie Wood. Big news for Valmont Bike Park. USA Cycling announced last week that the 2014 USA Cycling Cyclo-Cross National Championships will be hosted at the popular site. The decision to host the championships at Boulder's Young Bike Park came after USA Cycling visited the site last month. The championship in January 2014 is expected to bring at least 1,500 athletes and even more spectators to Boulder. Here's more on the exciting news for Valmont Bike Park. It's been the cycling hotspot in Boulder since its opening last June, and now Valmont Bike Park will host a major event in January 2014, something city officials couldn't be happier about.
When we found out the buzz was nonstop on the internet, on the phone calls, it was like 2 days of euphoria. Everybody was just very excited because we had a great community and team that put the package together with us. Working with the cycling community, with the Convention Visitors Bureau. The hotels have all stepped up. They're working with us on packages, and so we've got some great programs that we're going to be able to bring forward relative to this decision.
The decision to host the 2014 USA Cycling Cyclo-Cross National Championships at Valmont came after USA Cycling officials visited the site last month. Officials also visited the bike parks in other finalist cities, Austin, Texas, and Asheville, North Carolina. USA Cycling made the unusual decision to award all 3 communities with one-year contracts for the championships. Austin was selected as the host of the 2015 Cyclo-Cross National Championships, and Asheville will host the event in 2016.
It's probably like creating the frenzy of a Super Bowl, a new site every year, and we're really excited about that. We think it's a very creative solution to having 3 great venues, of course, which Boulder is the best.
That excitement will certainly be evident around town when the championships take place in January 2014. The event will also create great revenue opportunities for Boulder, as it could bring an estimated $1 million of economic impact at a time of year when tourism is at its lowest. Kincannon expects there will be lots of visitors checking out Valmont Bike Park.
Anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 to 3,000 a day. The biggest day will most likely be Sunday when the pros are racing, and that final day of racing. We might have between 3,000 and 5,000 people here, which would be similar to what our opening day was here at Valmont when we actually opened the park. So it's going to be a very exciting time. It's January, which is great because it brings business into the city at a normally slow time as far as the Convention Visitors Bureau has indicated to us. So it really does provide an additional economic boost for the city.
Kincannon says hosting the championships at Valmont Bike Park will help the park gain exposure on a national level. He expects opportunities to host more bike events at Valmont won't be far away. Boulder will also be in the spotlight this August when some of the world's top cyclists pass through our town during the last leg of the USA ProCycling Challenge. Earlier this month, race officials announced the official route, which includes biking through some of Boulder's most iconic riding routes before ending with a climb up Flagstaff Mountain. Race officials say the finish at Flagstaff could very well turn out to be the most important and dramatic stage of the race.
We've been working on this for about a year. Andrew Shoemaker's the co-chair with me, and meeting with a lot of the cycling community, including some pro riders like Tom Danielson and others, and getting ideas on what's going to be the most spectacular way to showcase Boulder and make an impact on the Pro Cycling Challenge. And after lots of discussion, also working very closely with Medalist Sports, who really puts this race together, we came up with a spectacular route, and working with the city as well, because obviously working on Flagstaff, coming through the town, made a lot of sense. Everybody kind of knew that. But having a spectacular finish like Flagstaff took a lot of work, working with the city manager and working with our open space department. So we continue to work very closely with them because we know how important the open space area is, and Flagstaff in particular. So we're just thrilled, and it meets all the criteria of an epic race.
The race is scheduled for August 20th through the 26th. Cyclists will begin in Durango and end in Denver after around 520 miles of riding steep ascents. The Boulder finish will take place on August 25th. A battalion chief who has served for the City of Boulder's fire department for nearly 4 decades is retiring. Gilbert Espinoza is leaving the department after 37 years of service, 23 of which he served as battalion chief. Espinoza has many stories from his years with the city, as well as from the time he spent as a Navy SEAL and serving our country in Vietnam. Espinoza said life after Vietnam wasn't easy, but he took many of the lessons he learned as a Navy SEAL and applied them to his job with the fire department. Espinoza says his main goals throughout his career were to keep people safe and to improve the safety of the procedures at the fire department.
Becoming the battalion chief and accepted that responsibility, it was the same as walking point in Vietnam. It felt the same to me because I was in front. I got to take care of the people, got to make sure everybody's safe, got to make sure I pick up on the things that are dangerous, got to make sure that we do the job right, make sure everybody goes home, make sure everybody stays intact. My greatest fear was never that I was going to get killed. My greatest fear was that somebody was going to get killed because I didn't do my job. We are a better fire department than we ever were when I came on. We're safer, we have smarter people, we have good equipment.
Battalion Chief Gilbert Espinoza says a very influential moment in his career was the deaths of firefighters William Duran and Scott Smith in a 1982 fire training exercise. That accident prompted a major change in national fire training standards that are still in place today. Espinoza says he vowed he would not leave the fire department until he felt necessary improvements were made. On Wednesday night, City Council denied an application that would have allowed late-night operating hours at a taco shop on University Hill. Lau's Taco Shop at 1335 Broadway has been the center of debate since City Council decided to call up Planning Board's approval of its application. This came after some council members expressed concerns about adding more late-night activity to the Hill area. Lau's Taco Shop asked the city for permission to stay open until 2:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Currently, the restaurant is allowed to operate until 11 p.m. Council's decision was based on their ruling that the applicant did not meet their burden in proving that they met the criteria required for approval. That's all the time we have for this week. You can connect with Inside Boulder News on Facebook by submitting news tips and questions. Just search for City of Boulder Channel 8. I'm Natalie Wood. Stick around for more Inside Boulder next.